Hello students, welcome to July 6th lesson on correlation coefficient. They will call it an R, okay? So what does that mean? It just means that the correlation coefficient is just a measure of how much little data is scattered around the LSRL, which is the graph itself, okay? So if it's too spread apart, or is it nicely tight together on a line, so that the number will tell us that type of data, okay? And that number ranges from -1 to 1, okay? Basically from -1 to before 0, that's a negative correlation, and anything above 0 to 1 is a positive correlation, all right? Let's go and talk about that for a second. All right, so when you look at a graph like this, okay, if it's a nice straight line like this, if a graph is a nice straight line, okay, if the dot is on that straight line, the correlation would be a +1. All right. Now this one here, it kind of looks like it's a pretty decent correlation on a line. It probably ranges something like, I don't know, let's just say it's closer to 1, maybe like a 0.8. I'm just estimating, okay, maybe even a 0.9, because it looks like it can form a straight line, all right? Now, if it's a weak positive correlation, something like this, that means it's gonna get closer to the number 0. That means it's not a lot of correlation. If it's a weak positive, so again, if it's a straight line, it would be a 1. This one is obviously all over the place. So let's just say this is the LRSL, and it's kind of like all over the place of it, even though it looks like it's positive still. Okay, so this correlation, I'm just guessing, is probably closer to 0. So it'd be like 0.1 or let's just say 0.15 or something like that. Okay. Now, if it's like this one here has no correlation at all. So the correlation coefficient would be a 0. 0 meaning that you can't put a line anywhere because there is no correlation. All right. Now let's look at a negative. Now when it's a negative, again, when it looks like it can form a straight line like this, okay, so again, it doesn't form exactly a straight line. If it's exactly a straight line, that'd be a -1. But as you can see, it's scattered all around. It's just a tiny little bit. So it's closer to -1. I don't know, like a -0.9, something like that. Okay. Now this one's moderate. So maybe something like a -0.5. Okay. And this one's a very weak one. So maybe like a -0.1 or something like that. All right, so those are the numbers. Now you don't have to calculate the correlation coefficient. Actually, there's a graphing calculator for that, so we don't need to find these numbers. Okay, I just want you to understand them for your quiz. Okay, and then because they'll give you a multiple choice and you get to pick, and just look at it, and then the answer is pretty obvious. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day, and that is it for today's lesson.